Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I relive past events. I am transported next to the men and women who wrote history. I move through their lives like a ghost of the future. I am a messenger of memories, a link between our time and their world. My voice will guide you through these episodes to bring back their stories as they appeared to me. The sound of music is floating in the air. I hear jazz notes with a piano and a trumpet. The melody is accompanied by the bursts of voices on a crowded terrace. The air is soft, that of the beginning of a summer evening. The smell of the brewery is enticing. All my senses are awake and eager to join the party. My eyes open. A big red lit sign faces me, just above a large terrace. It is located at the corner of two streets, La Rotonde. I recognize this place. I am in the heart of the Montparnasse district in Paris. The neighborhood is noisy and festive. But it is not our time. An advertisement on a newsstand illuminated in the night praises the next play at the Champs-Élysées Theatre. It will be performed from the 22nd of June to the 10th of July 1924. We are in the heart of the Roaring Twenties, just after the First War. On the terrace of the cafe, the women have short hair and colourful evening dresses. The men wear elegant grey, black or navy blue suits with ties or bow ties. All the tables are full, and the waiters are bustling around the inside and the outside. Young anonymous revellers rub shoulders with the great Parisian cultural world that has made its way into the night. They are here to debate, dance, drink, and to laugh. A woman moves from table to table. Her lipstick is bright. Her made-up eyes emphasize the delicacy of her features. I am bewitched. I decide to get closer to her. She has undoubtedly drunk too much, but she acts like the mistress of the place. Everyone knows her, and she is having fun with everyone. She is Kiki, the queen of Montparnasse. She greets Picasso with his black hair and bowl cut at a table. He is accompanied by Modigliani and Chagall, who is combing back his crazy, sweaty hair after dancing. Then Kiki passes the table of André Breton, Paul Eluard, and Ernest Hemingway. Then I get the chance to dance with her until the next group. There are 4 of them. Kiki leaves my shadow to have fun with a man in the middle of a discussion. With his big moustache in the middle of his face, Fernand Léger is a contrast. Kiki is the actress in his first film. Sadly, she fails in making him dance this time. However, before leaving them, she unties Fernand's bow tie in a last mischievous gesture under the amused looks of her table companions. I let Kiki join the runway and settle on the bench. To the right of Fernand Léger, a woman is wearing an elegant hat. I recognize Marie Laurencin. She has amber skin and a light floral dress. Around them are 2 men. Franz Massaril, his small round glasses and his unruly locks. Then finally, Kees van Dongen, with his short beard and seductive blue eyes. What beautiful company! 4 great masters of painting. A waiter passes by as Kees van Dongen orders a new bottle of champagne. Marie Laurencin makes fun of the clients whose portraits she paints. Some are her friends, but she does not spare them. The whole of Paris fights for her to paint them. She tries to represent in her portraits the mask of their social illusion. This activity is incredibly lucrative. She had been robbed of all her possessions in 1914 for being married to a German painter, a pacifist. She even had to flee to Spain and was stripped of her nationality. The waiter returns with the bottle of champagne. He pops the cork and starts to serve. Unfortunately, there are only 4 glasses. Too bad. No one ever thinks to offer a drink to ghosts like me. Kees van Dongen raises his glass. To art and to women. His Dutch nationality spared him from participating in the war, so he spent his time in Paris making portraits of women, the bust of a naked woman, a horsewoman, and of course, the violinist. I had the chance to see the portrait of the violinist in a museum. With her short black hair and her colourful face, a seductive blue dress highlights her long, thin legs. She is in front of a dark blue piano, everything he likes. He empties his glass in one go and asks Frans Masseriel why he likes xylography so much, which turns everything black and white, even when there are so many colours in the city. Frans Masseriel is a pacifist. He was struck off the lists of the Belgian population and is still banned and banished for having fled the war. The horrors of the conflict cut him. A recognised wood engraver, he started xylography in 1914. This art allowed him to denounce the violence and the mechanics of conflicts. Today he expresses his ideal for equality. Even if he continues to paint, he likes this process, which allows him to reproduce his work in number and with which he can transmit his ideas. I noticed that Franz Leger is no longer listening. At the mention of the war, he sinks into buried memories. I dive into his past with him. Fernand is younger now, about 30 years old. He is in a trench in the middle of the Great War, his stretcher-bearer's armband around his arm. We are sitting on a small bench with 2 poilus. Others are leaning against a relief of the trench. They are armed with a knife in one hand and a shell casing in the other. They engrave them. I almost feel like I'm in a workshop, watching these few men in line sculpting this metal that could easily mutilate and murder them. Yet, in the ugliness of the conflict, they invent beauty with the objects of their daily life. One carves a mill that reminds him of his farm. Another is painting the rose he would have liked to give to his wife. Just behind them, 2 soldiers are crouching. They have melted down shells with firebrands taken from the cook's fire. With their iron spoons, they are now pouring the metal between the base of a bayonet and a small stick the size of a finger. When the metal is cold, it can shape a ring. What ingenuity! Next to me, Fernand has taken out his pencil. He is drawing on an ammunition box, or rather, he is teaching the 2 young soldiers next to him how to master the geometry of tubes. In the middle of the war, I'm attending a cubism class. One of the poilus takes the pencil and attempts to copy the master. Fernand lets him do it, a smile at the corner of his moustache. A voice resounds in the dream. Fernand, Fernand. We return immediately to our Parisian table. Fernand, so what interests you so much about workers? Fernand shakes his hands almost automatically. The question is simple. Yet he is tense. Maybe it's the alcohol, but probably it's the memory. Living on the front lines helped him discover the people. Miners, earthworkers, wood and iron craftsmen. The violence of the war revealed to him the humanity of those poilus, their solidarity, humour and inner value, their perfection. That's why he sometimes hangs out in the bars of Kremlin-Bicêtre rather than in the trendy ones of Montparnasse. That's why he paints these so-called simple people. He wants to know them. Fernand gets up and he begins speaking from his heart. Everybody listens to him. Time is suspended. The paintings of his mechanics, his workers, are tributes to his companions in misfortune. They are also the denunciation of his robotized humanity, the man who has become a machine. In his game of cards, his soldiers break down into cones, rods, cylinders, and pyramids, a decomposition of the forms to find the chaos of the war, its dehumanization. Since the Great War, he has been focused on pure abstraction, even more than his cubism. Those who did not experience the war cannot understand it. Fernand then leaves, suddenly and abruptly. Marie Laurencin gets to join him. I don't have time to react. She jostles me without being able to see me. I find myself on the floor, and Paris and the Roaring Twenties flies away. I am transported to another place. Fernand is there, on a small esplanade just in front of a monument. He is older now, and he no longer has a moustache. We are in the middle of a small crowd of men and women. Everyone is wearing coats. The sky is grey, but it has already rained. We hopefully won't get wet now. We descend some steps very quietly. The atmosphere is relaxed. Behind us is a big stone building. It is shaped like a 5-point star with a large circle in the centre. Massive columns support the open structure. I recognise it. It is the Maillard of Bastogne. It was erected to honour the American soldiers who died during the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. Below the monument, we stop in front of a large staircase leading to a substantial wrought iron gate. A photographer has taken his place. Our little group places itself in line. I'm next to Fernand Léger. He would have preferred better weather on this September day, but it doesn't matter. His frescoes are well protected. The picture is in the box. Let's go. Our little group descends the steps, passes the portal, and finds itself inside the crypt. Its vault is made of sandstone rubble. In front of us, 3 huge mosaics are nestled on each side behind 3 blue marble altars. They seem to be the walls of this cave, dug under the imposing memorial. Each mural is dedicated to a religious belief, the 3 great American religions. There is a cross for the Catholic, a Bible for the Protestant, and a 7-branched menorah for the Jewish faith. What could be better than to honour the dead soldiers side by side in the same sanctuary? Around each symbol placed in the centre of the drawings, I recognise Fernand Léger's bright colours. This is because it was he who created the 3 panels. As a result, I understand his presence better. Each mosaic is a rainbow of colours that do not seem to care about the drawing, as if these colours were disassociated from the portraits of women drawn with black lines on the sides. Fernand represented them with amplified bodies and inexpressive faces, as he does so well. Sometimes in profile, sometimes from the front, sometimes from the back, all turned towards the centre of the work. One is holding out her arms, the other a flower. I look at the artist in the middle of the crypt. He stands back a little from the crowd of patrons who observe his art with curiosity. His eyes are slightly shiny. I see that he wanted to pay tribute to the mothers and widows of fallen soldiers. They are at the centre of this project, and they are the ones who had lobbied to create this place of remembrance. The visit is now over. A small group compliments Fernand for his audacity and his genius. Fernand thanks them. He could not refuse to share his art in a place open to all and dedicated to those lost in the war. I leave Fernand and his frescoes and return to my room. From the trenches of northern France to his forced American exile in 1940, the war played a significant role in his art. On my shelf I notice a tiny book, Freedom, I Write Your Name, a poem by Paul Eluard and illustrated by Fernand Léger. Fernand will always be there. Did this story touch you? Then it's time to go to the Land of Memory territory to immerse yourself in this adventure in the very spot where it took place. The itinerary Artists and the War can be discovered on the website landofmemory.eu to visit the graphic art cabinet of the Saarland in Saarbrücken.